Did mention this in my Being Black in Germany video. I'm looking for friends and I want to do it in a more organic way. Please don't be a serial killer. I think living in Stuttgart as a student and living there as a working person is two totally different subjects. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's been a long time that I've sat down in front of the camera and talked to you guys. I'm happy to be doing it, and this has been a highly requested question across the few videos that I've already put out. You guys have been asking me why I moved to Berlin and just a whole bunch of stuff surrounding Berlin, so I wanted to sit down with you guys and kind of just go down the list of questions and also just update you guys. So if you are kind of new to my channel, you maybe don't recognize it or even know, but I did move to Berlin about 2 to 3 months ago, and so I'm in a new flat. And if this is like the first or second video you're coming into, yeah, this is my new flat. I did do an empty apartment tour if you wanted to check that out, but I will be doing a office tour sometime soon if you guys are ever interested. And before we jump into the video, I know some of you might ask about my outfit details. I am wearing right now this chapeau like nude blazer. It kind of just looks like this. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and follow me on Instagram. So let's just jump right into the video. First question, why did we move to Berlin? You guys know I'm living with my boyfriend. Basically, I don't think I mentioned it before, but we lived in southern Germany, and to be specific, it's Stuttgart. Long story short, I've only known Stuttgart my whole Germany life. Like when I went to school, I was in Stuttgart. And when I came back, I wanted to go somewhere familiar, so I went back to Stuttgart. And I think living in Stuttgart as a student and living there as a working person is two totally different, subjects, especially where you live. If you're living in a more metropolitan area or with students, then maybe, Stuttgart is the place to be. But when I came back the second time, I was not really living in that type of area. I was more or less living like on the farm, next to fields, and it was not the city. And basically that comes with its own challenges, just because there's not going to be a lot of other people there. There's not going to be a lot of diversity. There's not going to be a lot of inclusion, and I did suffer with this a little bit in Stuttgart. That's basically one of the big reasons why I wanted to move to Berlin, because I needed my diversity. Like, it was actually getting to me. I've been in Germany, I think 5 years. The timeline is just crazy for me. I don't remember. I've been here so long. So I've been here, let's say in Germany, 5 years, and 5 of those years were in Stuttgart, and it was just getting to me that, I'm just not relating to the people on the street. And I did mention this in my Being Black in Germany video that, there's a lot of staring and etc. So main big reason. The second reason is because of the social life. Like, if you guys have followed my vlogs, you already know the tea, and I'm not one to shy away from saying that, okay? She doesn't have friends, and it's not because I don't try. That I was also lacking in Stuttgart. Like, I didn't have a friend group, and when I did, they dropped off like flies, or I was trying really hard with certain people just because I wanted to have friends, which is something that I told myself I will never do again. Yeah, that was it. It was just very difficult to meet people, very difficult to find friends, and I felt like the space was a little bit closed off in that area. Most Germans that I saw, for example, going out at night, they would stick to their own group. And at work, I was also not like making friends like that. It's just a different age group at work, so that was not gonna work. So my social life was kind of suffering. At some point, I was just like, COVID took away 2 of my best years, and I want it back. Like, I want it back some way. And so Berlin was always somewhere that I wanted to go to. They have a lot more opportunities for English speakers. There's a lot more diversity, and it's a city. So, the social life is gonna be top. Yeah, those were kind of like my main pillars for why I wanted to move to Berlin. I mean, I've only been here like 2 months now, and I already feel really, really, really good here. It's just because of the diversity that I'm seeing. I'm hearing English, I'm hearing German, I'm hearing other languages, and I don't get stared at all. Like, I can literally, in some places, I would say like 90% of places and situations, I can just blend into the background. I can mind my business, and nobody is trying to mind my business, if that makes sense. So I love Berlin so far, but I'm not coming out here to like, romanticize Berlin and say like, oh my God, Berlin, like safest place, like coolest place. Berlin is really cool, trust me. We have not run out of things to do here, and it is a little bit more inclusive and there's more diversity, but it is still a big city and there is actually more danger here than there is in Stuttgart. So there's those things to, you know, balance out and weigh each other out, but I still prefer it here than Stuttgart, so I'm really happy about moving here. So I think this might even be a short video because I don't have too much things on my list to talk about, but I know a lot of you guys have been asking about housing and how I find an apartment here in Berlin and in general in Germany, and I'm pretty sure, I'm not sure if I made a video about it, it's been so long, but I can quickly get into it. I'm pretty sure I made a video about it listing like all of the places you can go to find an apartment, and it's the same situation here. So for renting an apartment, I would more or less use Immobilien Scout, but Berlin is a whole other world. Berlin is very with a capital V hard to find somewhere that's not the oldest building you've ever encountered. There is so many people here in Berlin, and there's like 3 apartments available in Berlin. We got very lucky, and it's just because I'm very persistent. What I would recommend is looking at new buildings if you can, and trying to use some connections or going through Facebook, because that was the only way that I found an apartment for Sven and I. Otherwise, like Immobilien Scout, they're only populating these Tauschwohnungen, and Tauschwohnung is kind of like you trade your apartments, and I don't know, like it makes 0 sense to me why I would trade apartments. Like, we both have an apartment in Berlin, but let's Tauschwohnung, like change for 6 months or something. It doesn't make any sense to me, but that is majority what you're gonna find on Immobilien Scout for inner circle Berlin. And you know, that doesn't really make sense for us. So it was just a lot of hounding, it was a lot of alerts, because you just have to be on top of your game. As soon as an apartment comes out, stop whatever you're doing, not literally, but stop whatever you're doing and apply for it ASAP. I promise you, ASAP, or there's going to be like 100 people from the 5th minute onwards. And I will say this, we did not expect this here, but housing here we found is a little bit expensive. I really thought coming to Berlin it would be cheaper, but the ratio from what we were paying back in Stuttgart is a lot different than what we're paying now. But if I'm honest, we were like living kind of, again, close to a farm, and so maybe that's why. But still, can you see yourself making friends here in Berlin and, you know, having that life that you always wanted? This was also a question from Instagram, and I definitely can. Problem right now is I want to do so much here in Berlin. I wanted to do more content, I wanted to shoot, I have everything at my disposal. It's just so difficult right now because my master's is ramping up. I'm in my 2nd semester, I have 1 more semester of like specialization, and then it's my thesis, and it's ramping up right now. It's a lot. I also just started a new job, you guys, if you've been following my vlogs you would know. And so new job, master's degree, and YouTube. And YouTube is, you know, part of my mental health, so it's also up here, and it's just very hard to balance. It's very hard to juggle. I don't even know how I'm gonna fit in 1-2 friends. If you are living in Berlin and you do watch my channel, do hit me up on Instagram, like just DM me, because I am looking for friends and I want to do it in a more organic way. Please don't be a serial killer. And I know that some of you guys who watch me, we kind of have the same vibe because you watch me consistently, so I assume we kind of have the same vibe, similar, or we just get along anyways. So just hit me up. I am open now to meet up with some girlfriends or meet up with anyone who actually wants to meet up and you're not a serial killer. Let's put emphasis on that, please. So yeah, that was the end of the video. I think it's gonna be a really quick one. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you guys are staying healthy and safe, and I'll see you in another video.